So as I begin the work to restore this Model 1 that I picked up, I want to talk about a couple of things in this video. One of the things, I've watched a couple recent people do repair work on other vintage computers, and one of the things they did was took the keyboard assembly here and they put the entire thing in either a pan of soapy water or in the dishwasher. That's asking for trouble. If we look down inside, I don't know how well this will show up, each one of these keys, let's get this in frame, each one of these keys has a mechanical contact inside. And if you just put it in water or the dishwasher, water will infiltrate, get into there, and as tap water is conductive, it creates a conductive contact in there, and the keyboard basically quits working, and you get all kinds of erratic behavior when you put it back together, and that's because the inside of these have water has leached in through capillary effect. It's really difficult to get out, really difficult. I would never recommend that you take the actual mechanical parts of the keyboard here and wash them. You're just asking for a mess. I'm going to pull the keycaps off of this keyboard and I'm going to clean them, and I'm going to hope that the white ones, that this yellow gunk will actually clean off and we'll get somewhat of a reasonable color back. I at first thought these had been in a house where there was a smoker, and that may be. These aren't that typical yellow you see when the bromide comes out of plastic. Bromide uses a fire retardant in the plastic. I don't know if these are going to clean up or not. We'll find out. Let me shuffle this around so I can get it flat, and we'll look at removing some of the keys. Something else to be aware of, and you may not be able to see it here under the space bar. Under the space bar there's a little metal rod. It is a torsion bar, and when I press the key on this side, that torsion bar gets rotated and pulls the other side of the key down. That little plastic torsion bar runs the entire length of the space bar. It's not uncommon to find those torsion bars underneath other keys on keyboards, especially when they're very wide. I believe on the Model 1 keyboard the only key with this torsion bar is the space bar. When you take those wider keys off, you need to look and make sure you know how to put it back together. It can be a bit challenging to put it together. How do I get the keycaps off? Pretty simple. You can brute force it, rack your fingers out as I'm doing there and get nowhere. I tend to find just a little bit of leverage underneath is often enough to get them to come up off. I'm sure people are screaming out there. Wow, these are really on there. Wow. I have never had one be that difficult to get apart before. So we are learning here together. Another possible way to do this, and I have a paper clip here, and we will modify this paper clip and see if we can actually make a little tool to do this. When I used to service computers as a contractor to the Air Force, somebody showed me this. I can't tell you who it was, but sometimes I'm taking apart keyboards on like VT100s and VT52s. This helped. I've created a little tool here. I've got a couple hooks on the end, and sometimes you can get in here. I may have made those a little long, and get them up underneath the key and use it to pull up. I'm really not going to have any luck getting this keyboard apart. Wow, that is impressively tight. I wonder why those keycaps are on there so tight. Typically, I wonder if they're actually molded in. This might be an interesting repair. Every keyboard I've ever serviced, the keycaps actually come off of the posts pretty easily. This has to be designed that way. Let me get this back down into frame and see if I can work him up off. I really am not going to be able to. See, that one started to walk off. Well, you get to see me struggle here. I have never had keycaps be this difficult to get off. I'm going to take my little tool here, and I'm going to shorten slightly the parts that I've bent over. Make it a little bit easier to get it up under there. And I'll try this again and see if I can pull it directly up. Wow, that is impressive. Well, I do believe I've encountered yet a Model 1 keyboard I've never ran into before. Well, this is going to be an interesting keyboard to clean up. I'm just having a really hard time believing those are... No, I felt that one reseat back down. That is... Well, you get to see me fumble here. Of course, that's part of what the blog here is about, is seeing me make mistakes and seeing me be wrong. And the message in that to everybody is we all are wrong at times and we all make mistakes. I really don't want to break that key switch. These key switches on these keyboards are really interesting to replace. I've replaced a few of them over the years. I've never had the keycaps not just come off before. With just a bit of gentle persuasion. Try one more time. Let's see, I feel it walking up. At least I swear I feel it. I really don't want to put this keyboard through this kind of mechanical stress. No, I felt it sit back down on. Well, I guess that was a fail. Glad I could share it with you. Okay, with a bit more persuasion, this key did come off. It is like I thought it was. There's a separate post for the switch assembly. They're just incredibly tight on there. And they don't really sit back down on the way I'm used to feeling them sit back down on. I'm really concerned that approaching the cleaning of this keyboard this way is going to actually affect some of these switches. Because the high amount of mechanical stress that's being created as I essentially got under here. You got to see me drop it and pried that cap off. I don't know, I can't say I'm happy about how much it's taken to do that. Now see, I don't mind being a little aggressive here because I know that I have a large box of these keys or the switches from various computers over the years. And I know there's some from a very well fried Model 1 in there that was parted out many, many, many years ago. And as I'm a pack rat, all of that was kept. Wow. Yeah, these shouldn't be taking this much mechanical leveraging to walk off there. Now see, this one is walking off. I would like to really get them all off. course, that worked pretty easily, just getting under there to be able to lever. They are just really, really tight. Let me put back on my reading glasses, get a little bit better view down into here. The problem, of course, is getting into ones like this. And I broke that one. So I'm going to have to replace that switch. That's truly sad. And at this point, I'm going to stop trying to lever these off, as that sucks. Well, that is what it is. I will have to come up with a different way of cleaning this keyboard up. So replacing this switch will be interesting. I will need to come in here and do a really good job on soldering both those joints and making sure the pins are loose. And then we'll come back around. And there's a couple of little plastic spring clips. Hopefully you can see me pressing those in. And with that switch unsoldered, by pushing these both in, you can lift that switch body up out of there. Obviously, I will be replacing that one. Well, you got to see a great failure there. I hope maybe you learned something from it. And I get to sit here and wonder why these are just so incredibly tight. It will be interesting to see if I can clean that up. You know, the back black keys aren't all that horrible on here. A little bit of cleaning and the white letters will come through. This, I don't really know what that stain is, and I don't know what kind of solvents I may actually try to remove that. Anyhow, fail. What can I say? Glad to be able to share that with you, and once I find the replacement key in my box upstairs, I will actually get you some video of me pulling that out.